at, if it is 9 o'clock, it's 9 o'clock. Oh, we got 1 minute to go.
No, it's 9:01 after, on that one there. Okay, we'll wait 1 minute. To the phone, right? Yeah.
Okay, let's bring the meeting to order, roll call.
Campbell?
Oh, sorry, you got,
Campbell?
Here.
Kress?
Here.
Lackey?
Yes.
Salazar?
Here.
Michaels?
your petitions or communications, oral or written?
Miss Erin wanted to speak to the board about a grant. So I sent her the copy of the application and she reviewed it. She brought it in yesterday and said that she wouldn't be able to apply for it, she didn't qualify, so.
Well, what was it for? Just for us to
It
know.
was for an event this weekend. They're going to thank the community for voting in the, what was it?
The bond.
The
The
bond.
bond, was it bond? Okay, the bond.
Well, that would be
Well-
for tourism. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I said, yeah, you don't qualify.
Okay. Anybody else have any petitions or communications, oral or written, that you'd like to talk about today?
There is a portion in there for board reports if you want.
Okay. Approval of minutes. Has everybody had time to approve the minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Real quick on boards, on meetings, I talked to, Mike Valentine, he's gonna come in at the end of the meeting to discuss the decorating over at the end of the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna come in meeting a little bit.
Very nice.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to narrow a time with him and I was just gonna, me and Tom were gonna meet him, but I was like, well, let's just all meet him together if
Yeah,
he's
that's
available,
great.
so he's
That's
gonna try and
great.
get in here later on today, so.
Okay, does anybody want to motion to approve the board minutes as they said? So moved. A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We have 4 billings to approve the invoices. We can do them in one swoop if everybody wants to look at seeing the outdoor media and the World Journal. And that was for Mountains and Mesas, that World Journal fee, that looks like it's high, it's because it's Mountain and Mesas. And,
Website?
and the website and the postage. Everybody's good with that? Can somebody motion to approve the invoices as they said?
I motion to approve.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, old business, RPM. Contract is in front of us.
I invited Rob Simon, to come and do a report, and he had a family issue come up, and so he wasn't able to make it down, so I printed the visioning project status report for you. So up to date, what they've done, in early October, they did an assessment. They met with, at the Crazy Friends Ranch on October the 1st. They met with the Nature Conservancy, the Trust for Public Lands, CPW, Mayor Rico, Mike Valentine, Wally, and Carl Gabrielson. Following that meeting on October the 8th, they had 2 visioning workshops. One in the morning, one in the afternoon. Some of you attended that, and one in the morning. And then the second one in the afternoon. It was really good, really good feedback. So we had representation from Economic Development, the Center for Community Innovation, the board, Trinidad Planning, Main Street Board, Chamber of Commerce, COG, the college, Trinidad Parks and Rec, 3 representatives from Los Angeles County, Commissioner Lopez and Commissioner Haas, and Phil Dorenkamp. They met with Pipes Bike Shop, Spectrum Marketing, the Colorado Tourism Office. Elizabeth O'Rear was here. Giddy Up, the Bikes Downtown, Ultimate Sports, Chris Paradisa, and Christine Loudon, who does the Branson Gravel Grinder. He has now worked on scheduling one-on-one interviews with community stakeholders, and there's a list there that you see that of those that he's meeting with. That's the next step. And then they're assembling and reviewing right now for some key existing documents that we have. The comprehensive plan that was done in 2017 by the city, the Trinidad Trails and Greenways Master Plan, the Purgatory River Trail System Master Plan, the cycling tourism presentation, and I believe that is Juan's. The Trinidad and Southern Colorado Blueprint 2.0 and COGS Pell study that they're doing. And then they'll do interviews with other stakeholders after they review those documents. And they expect an assessment phase that will be completed by the end of this month. In December, they're gonna share with their stakeholders all the feedback and comments that they have, and then a final vision will be in hand by end of December 2020.
The meeting I went to, I really found that I felt everybody was engaged and excited about being there to talk about bicycling. Camilla, you were there too.
I was there morning and afternoon, and that afternoon was the,
That was what I was in.
yeah, that was a good one.
I was there in the morning, but they don't put me down.
Yeah.
They didn't miss you?
They didn't
Uh-oh.
miss, but that afternoon, listening to some of the people that live out in the county was very interesting, yeah.
So he'll keep us up to date. I've asked him to give us regular reports on, what's going on, just so we have an idea of.
So does that mean like the first week in December, he's gonna come here and talk to us or something?
I'll invite him again.
Okay.
Yeah, when they have the next phase complete,
Uh-huh,
then I'll ask for a second report.
okay. Anybody have any questions about the ongoingness of that? Nope, okay. Buxton, update?
Buxton update, so the map that you have in front of you is the first step that we've, made. They asked for 2 maps, 2 areas, study areas. And so the first study area obviously is the boundaries of the city of Trinidad. That's our main area of study. The second one, they asked for a broader area, like where people are coming from. So she said, well, you draw it out on a map. So this is what I drew out. I included Walsenburg, La Veta, Cachara, Aguilar, Trinidad, Cokedale, the entire county, except for that little tiny piece up at the top there. But I also included, so the I-25 corridor, north and south, the 160 corridor from La Veta to Walsenburg, and from La Veta on Highway 12 all the way back through Cachara and into Trinidad. The 160 corridor from the eastern section, the 350 from La Junta, and I also included Amtrak. Because they focus mostly on highways and byways, so I said, well, wait a minute, we got Amtrak coming in too, we need to include that as well. So that's the area.
Did they give you like square miles you had to work with, or how did you come up with that area?
Mostly gateways into the city.
Oh, okay, but, yeah, I know, I'm trying to think of how it could be done any better, and I really don't know of any way, because you don't wanna include Fort Garland, it's too far out. A lot of things happens on the plains and in that, outward Branson area, so anybody have any suggestions of how they could see anything different in that map?
Is it only Colorado only?
So, but I just don't want, the only thing I don't want is, I don't want the statistics to be skewed because we have Aguilar and Walsenburg in there, no offense to them at all. Just that in Walsenburg and Aguilar, they may be looking for fast food or something else, and we have it here, so it would skew our sort of statistics.
So they're not looking so much at the cities that are in the study area as they are the traffic areas that are coming from those cities.
So
into Trinidad.
Yeah. So do they get that analytics even on phone, in a car on a phone? And then, I would think this is possible, but I'm just asking, so will there be an analytics of the traffic that comes in on 160 and their wants versus the traffic that comes in on I-25?
Yep.
Okay.
So they'll be defined by their travel area.
Travel area, very good. Does anybody else have any questions on what's happening?
I think that, I'd rather track it more north and south than east and west. And the reason why is I don't think we're getting no travelers from Pritchett, Andrix, Kim,
But
I
we're
don't-
getting
I
more
don't-
people coming in from
No,
Oklahoma.
not so much from
I mean,
those
but-
locations, but on those highways, so.
But I think we're getting more from I-25 coming from Texas, that side. And if everyone's saying is we're always getting them from Colorado City and Des Moines, or Denver, we're tracking that way. I mean, if we're paying for this study, the study's gonna be more valuable to us tracking where the most people are coming in from. I don't think we're really getting a lot of people from 160. I
You'd be
honestly don't. I think
surprised
we're
how
getting
many
way
people-
more.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
we're
we
getting a
said,
lot of people
yeah.
from 160.
We, 160
Compared to
we get-
Colorado Springs or Denver, or
Probably about
Well,
an equal
not-
amount,
They're not
seriously.
gonna compare them so much, Joey, as they are gonna include them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, but if we're doing a
You're
study,
never
though,
gonna compare to I-25, none of those.
but if we're trying to get a study to figure out what the analytics is,
They will.
the more people you're gonna get though is
Well-
higher people.
Absolutely.
Marty, will the
Okay.
study break down, to Joey's point, does the study break down from which direction they're coming
Yes.
from? Okay, so
Yes, so
that
the-
would give us that information.
So the roadways they're traveling, so you'll
Right.
have information on I-25 southbound.
Right,
You'll have information on I-25 northbound.
and,
You'll
and
have both directions on 160,
so,
Highway 12.
so, for instance, if we have people coming in from the east on I-60, would we know their point of origination?
Yes.
Okay, that's, I think that's
Cause see,
good.
what I would like to do is I'd like to move that boundary down south of Raton, where you're gonna get the people coming from Amarillo into Raton, then coming up.
Okay, so let me explain how this works. So if they're focusing on people that are traveling I-25 northbound, they're gonna capture everybody that's on
That comes in.
I-25. No matter where they're originating from, they're gonna capture them on that area.
The minute
So-
they get on I-25.
They get on I-25, we capture
Once they
them.
get on
Okay.
I-25, we got them,
Okay,
So it's pretty much every point is we're gonna get them
yes,
Yeah.
coming in.
yes,
Right points of entry.
all the points of entry.
I guess let's see what the study looks like when we get it, and then we can kinda go from there.
Well, I think that, this study will be something that could be used for a variety of reasons and groups as well, so. And the study's available to anyone, so I
right,
think it's a good
I
idea.
think it's a good idea.
I don't know, I mean, obviously we get a lot of traffic from Texas and Oklahoma, but I do see, a lot of people, it's sort of funny, the people from Red River and the people from like Springfield, they come to Trinidad for the weekend.
Mhm.
I do see a lot of that. They, they'll say to me, well, you guys have like a theater and you have a skate land and you, for young couples that are between, 32 and 42 that have the 8 and 10-year-old, I see them at the hotels a lot, cause they think that we're a big time compared to their smaller community, so it'll be fun to see what else they're looking for.
Mhm.
Cause I would really love to draw more of a family crowd to Trinidad too, at a dimension, besides all the other things.
Well, we really, at this point, we really don't know what the demographic draw is,
Yeah.
and this is when we find out.
Yeah.
And how long will this take, you think, to get our first study?
They're backtracking right now, so they're going back and doing past, and then they'll do, Christmas, and they'll encompass that time of year too, so that, right now, that's the only active period that we have other than hunting season, that's going on right now, that's moving traffic.
So will we see an update soon,
skiers.
even though we don't see Christmas, will we see an update of what's happened so
This
far?
summer, yes.
And when would we see that?
I'm expecting a report by the end of January, we should
Okay.
have something in hand.
How many reports are you going to be getting?
Actually, 2 studies are being done right now, the RPM visionings.
No, but I'm talking about just the RPM themselves, or this one.
Oh, Buxton,
Buxton?
just
Yeah,
one.
Just one,
Mhm.
because it'd be interesting, of course, the cost would be probably astronomical to get different time periods, like since from
Yeah.
spring and summer, and then maybe winter.
Well, that's my
Well,
thing
that's
is-
why they're doing the backtracking now, so they're getting spring, they're getting summer, they're capturing.
So they can go
So
back
we'll
and get
have
all
a
that
thing of
information?
all seasons.
Okay, very good. Chronicle News, Facebook.
Okay, so I tried to fast track this one, but I didn't get everybody's response, so it's kinda still on the table. I've had some approvals, I've had some that say, no, let's not do it, so I think we need to actually just
Sure,
vote on
make a
it while
motion.
we're all physically
Absolutely.
present.
So we can make a motion to approve the, contract that we have seen for the Chronicle News to do the Facebook. Anybody wanna make the motion for that?
I'll make the motion.
Yes, I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any-
Nay, I denied it.
You denied it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and a photo contest.
Okay, so in your packets, you should have everything that I put together for the photo contest. It is,
I didn't get that packet.
you didn't get a packet? It's not on your, you didn't get the board packet on your tablet, Tom?
I can't get into my tablet.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's.
You know, for some reason or another, we've been having some issues with
I had
tablets.
trouble with
It's just-
Wi-Fi just now,
Yeah,
and,
see, mine won't let me in.
well,
Yeah.
you bring me and I'll get your Wi-Fi going.
What I'll do is I'll let Mike know that you guys are having troubles as well. We've had troubles at
Yeah.
council, last couple of
I think
meetings.
it's time to replace these myself.
I'm not sure if it's computers or if it's.
I think it's the IT, cause I can't get anything on my phone, no Wi-Fi.
So how many so far have not been able to get in?
I
Well,
took
there's
one.
something actually wrong with my computer.
Yeah,
I
Well,
got
it's
in
gotta
mine
be
this
the
morning.
actual tablets,
Mine-
because
mine
this is,
I
Jumped
don't
from
either.
Wi-Fi, I don't know why.
One thing that we did find out, of course, I
This
don't have my
is a
computer with me,
touchscreen
there's a
keyboard.
different,
yeah.
password to get in, and I think that was part of it.
Yeah. I'm in now. I had difficult when I first got here, but I'm in now.
Never have problems with mine.
So the Hometown Pride Photo Contest, wanna
I had
review
mine
that?
on last night.
Did I
The different topics are nature and wildlife, arts and culture, food and drink, festival events, attractions, family fun, history and architecture, rules, free to enter, 3 divisions, city tourism are not eligible, must be taken here, must have been taken after January 1st, so we have current photos. Anybody have, this is real similar to their last one, it's not exact.
The only thing that I actually changed was the categories, so we added it at your request, a youth category.
No, we love that, thank you so much for that. So it's got the instructions there for format and submission, and, photo restriction, if everybody wants to read through that, see if there's anything that feels uncomfortable to them, or they would wanna add, so that we can approve that from them.
And this is gonna help build our photo library,
Yep,
basically.
and for the next guide that we put out.
Yeah. And we're advertising this through our Facebook page and Chronicle, or how else?
And website?
Uh-huh. Can we do an insertion into utility bills?
Probably not.
Oh, why?
Well, because if we start that, then everybody want to start inserting things in our utility bills, is what I was told. It's
Well,
like-
they've done it in the past.
Oh, have they?
Well, they do insertions into utility bills.
Things that are pertaining to the city, I think, though.
Well,
So let's just touch on that a little bit. How else could we market this to get even more people involved than the regular photographers in town? Does anybody have any idea?
We can do flyers.
We could do flyers, we could announce them at the schools, something.
Actually, I think a tasteful poster.
Uh-huh.
You wanna do a
Flyers
poster?
are just flyers, you know, they're junky. If we could just even do 20 posters and put them in downtown businesses.
Yeah.
So even if we could have some flyers printed up for the schools.
mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
the schools are a great idea.
Or we could talk to them and have like a teachers announce it or something in the schools.
I
So the
even
kids
had
could know
maybe a
individually.
sign-up sheet at one of the schools.
With sign-up sheets?
Only Primero.
Okay.
Maybe if they have a little news thing themselves in the schools, maybe they could announce it in their little flyer. in
Newsletters?
school, something, cause if that's what we want our youth, you know.
Okay. So I've got Facebook, website, Chronicle News,
Schools,
Schools,
Got
we do,
schools,
we talk to
the
schools, yeah.
college.
college.
How about,
How many people are out there using Instagram these days instead of Facebook?
A lot.
Lot.
Instagram, does,
That seems to be the new.
The Chronicle, once they start their thing, will have an Instagram attached, so they can do that as well.
yeah.
Okay.
And there's-
The Werfeno Journal,
Do you all use a hashtag? Like, do you have a hashtag?
That's
that-
actually something I wanted to bring up in my portion was, identifying a hashtag that we're all gonna use. And it might just be Visit Trinidad, Colorado, cause that's the website.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how do you feel about that?
I think that for kids specifically, if they're gonna be taking pictures, they're usually gonna be on their iPhones and on like Instagram.
Is Visit Trinidad, Colorado too long?
Yeah, I think so.
Visit Trinidad?
I would almost do less, and I think specifically for like youth, I don't know if they're interested in the visit part of it. Like, I think it might be, I'm not sure. I'd have to think on it
Just
a
a
little bit, but
hashtag
just
Trinidad.
something, Trinidad.
But then we have to see if Trinidad, the island, is.
Yeah, Trinidad.
Yeah, no, and I don't think.
Hashtag Trinidad Co. or Trinidad Colorado, or
Mhm.
is that such a long?
Trinco.
Yeah, I'll think on it a little bit and see if I think of anything. But
Yeah, we do
Yeah.
need to identify a hashtag.
And then it's easy to remember for local people to post, cause all of a sudden it's like, is that Trinico, is that,
Tdad.
Mhm.
Tdad.
Well, we grew up on that. I don't know if the kids nowadays are growing up on that.
So Wally's gonna get back with us on what he thinks for his,
Just everybody think of something, and talk to the people that are on Instagram, and that's who's gonna tell us,
some of it is just, I wanna keep common sense though, because
Well,
it can get
yeah.
hard, But, okay, we'll work on that, and,
So other than that, Word from the Journal? No?
work from the journal, but,
They only.
You said advertising in the Chronicle, I wanted to know if you wanted to
Mm.
advertise in the Word from the Journal
No,
as
I
well.
think we keep it in our
I think we
calendar.
should keep
Yeah.
How about that Legends
One thing
magazine?
one thing that I've heard from, and I've talked to a few people as far as Springer, that they look at the working journals, well, it's up to you guys, but I just wanna let you know that,
the work from the journal,
it's up to you guys, I just wanna mention
Uh-huh.
it.
I think, what did you just say, Tom?
Legends magazine.
I think Tom has a great point on the Legends magazine. I always don't pick that up because I live here, but recently I was at Cita's waiting for my food, so I looked at it. And I think its market is outside of Trinidad and all those small communities. I think it has a good market for that. I don't know what that cost is though. Does anybody have any suggestions on how else to market this? The school systems?
I think the school systems or college, I think that's, that's.
Blasted email to all boards and commissions, or
Yeah.
the monthly meeting for boards and commissions,
Because-
that it's noted there.
I think all those are pretty well covered.
I can also probably drop off flyers at the galleries. Or posters.
But yeah, just
Or
cause
posters.
flyers are there's so much junky flyers out there right now.
You're just talking about photo contest now.
Yeah, just the
Yes.
photo contest, to get
If it's just a
people,
photo contest, then I would maybe eliminate the New Mexico side, I would
Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah.
So it says Trinidad on Los
Yeah.
Angeles County.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I just think
Yeah.
those other two are,
we just really want, and it would be really cool if a lot of just, citizens that just attended some events that aren't normally community, minded or do a lot with the community, we get some of those photos, cause I'm sure there's some really, culturally enriched ones with, different people's points of view.
When you word it, how are you wording it when you advertise for it? Do you have an idea yet?
Probably taking the text from the actual application.
are you
Not all of
putting-
it, but
when like in
main points.
nature and wildlife, are you just strictly focusing on Trinidad and Los Angeles County?
Yep.
And then put that in, because if someone comes in,
If you look at
sees
the
it.
application, they actually have to identify the photos, so look at the actual application.
Okay,
Well, the museums, I like, our history museum, Kirby Stokes is,
Mhm.
I think that would be galleries, museums for, posters.
Anybody have anything else, any other categories or anything else that they see need to be added to this, so that we can approve this, so Mark can get it going? And so, what dates are we talking about? I don't know if they're scripted out.
The
January
deadline is-
1 to
yeah,
February
29.
29.
Nice.
One of the things I'd like to see in there is, photographs as to how we can advertise our city.
all of these,
Yeah.
all of those
That should be the
categories.
first
But
part.
that should be the first part, this is,
And maybe on our-
this is how we wanna advertise our city, that's what these
Right,
photos are
and
being used
that
for.
actually, it says it on the application, so if you'll actually read the terms and conditions and introductory, it has that in there, that these photos are to advertise and market our city.
I think it looks pretty complete.
Yeah.
Okay.
The last time we ran this, it was similar, and I'm trying to think, we didn't really have any hiccups that I
No, we didn't
remember
have
at
no
all.
hiccups.
We
I
didn't
One
like
of the
anybody
things I
coming
want
back
you to
and saying we didn't.
specifically look at is the prizes.
Yeah,
Those I changed a little bit because we added another category, so I reduced the prizes by, I think, $25, so I could throw that extra money into the youth category
and
not have to spend any more.
Right, and so what is our total package that,
I think the last time the only problem we had with the last time, we had a lot of nature, but then we didn't have a lot of downtown.
we didn't have enough, we
Lot,
have a
we
lot of
didn't,
nature.
we didn't have downtown scenes. We had a lot of the mountains, but, and wildlife, but we didn't have our city.
That
And I think
reminds,
we really gotta stress that
So
because,
there is a history category and there's I think it's
History and
an architecture.
Yeah.
but I really like the point that Camilla made, she's
I think
right.
one, I
So-
think one way that you could do that is say that maybe that, what kind of preference will be given to photos that are wildlife and photos from the city, and say that, that way it'll tell them that you really do want to see some more photos from the city, like maybe put, your judging will be based on, let's say, 75% city photos, 25% other.
County or
something like
outside the
that.
city limits.
yeah, because last time we had no inside streets and
Yeah.
the few we had were they deserted, they were late at night or very early in the morning. And
Another
it
way
just-
we could advertise it is, can you find some unique architectural things for us in Trinidad? You know, that would be one of the challenges to it.
Well,
the name-
architecture is in here.
It is in
Yeah.
It is in there, but I
To
think
help
we
us
really
find
gotta
it.
stress that we really would like to see
I-
our city.
I'm hearing what the mayor and Camilla saying. I think that there should be one notation on, extra preferences will be given to photos when we do our grid. Extra preference will be given to photos taken in the historic downtown area.
I would put a percentage in there.
I mean, 'cause-
1%, yeah.
yeah, like 75% or something really great. Because, I mean, I really want a picture of a bear going down the street more than I want a pretty bear in the woods, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would prefer having people shopping and walking on the streets of our
Yeah.
city, had a really nice
Yeah.
picture.
Yes.
Because we didn't get any of that last year, and we know
No.
that
Very
a few
little.
years back, and we really missed that.
Is there a shopping category? There's a food and drink. I gave up all my stuff, I have nothing.
How about
fair enough.
food, drink, shopping in the historic downtown area? Let's just, instead of
Add
making
food,
another
drink, and
category,
shopping, yeah.
Food, drink, and shopping?
shopping
Or-
in the
or-
historic areas.
There you go, you could just throw it.
So we'll just change that category name to food, drink, and shopping
Shopping
in
in-
historic downtown?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Because I think we did really miss that. I mean, there was a lot of wildlife, there was a lot of animals, there was a lot of mountain scenes,
And-
but it wasn't depicting the city of Trinidad.
And then to really get them going there, let's add a little bit to what all you guys were saying, and let's make a stipulation in the rules that say, how much percentage, is that 60%, 50%, 75%? What is the percentage of which the, local downtown photo will give extra credit for? Extra preference will be given to photos, how much? 50% extra credit, 75%? I think we should go
I don't
for-
think you have to add a percentage to it, I
No.
would say just
Extra
preference will
be
be,
given, okay,
will be shown to
photos in the downtown.
photos in the downtown area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, but it makes a difference to me if I'm a photographer and I say preference will be given, or I say 75% preference will be given. I'm gonna be really going through my photos to make sure I get a downtown photo. I don't know. What does everybody think? Are we comfortable? Do we
I
need to
don't
move on?
understand, I can't interpret that interpret
can't
that
do.
percentage.
Oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
percentages or preference of points.
I don't think you wanna
No.
make it so restrictive that people are going to try to concentrate in one area and forget the other
And
area.
then
Yeah,
we-
and
then
we
we
just
lose
don't
out.
want,
Right.
like,
It's a
75%
contest.
of Fisher's Peak.
It's a
Right.
contest.
Okay, so let's just put preference down then.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else have anything else before this goes?
That's it.
On Instagram, the hashtag probably we should use is Trinidad, hashtag Trinidad Colorado has 10,000.9 posts.
Yeah.
That's when I would use it.
Okay.
Everyone else only has less than 50.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would just try and keep it as short as possible.
Thanks, Joey.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, if it has, and it's all Trinidad pictures, so I would
Mhm.
definitely.
That,
use
I would
one.
definitely go with
You're gonna
that,
try
I would
to add
definitely
to
throw
that.
that Colorado, so that in, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else about, anything else about this, or we need to pass this, somebody wanna make a motion to accept, the photo contest docket, with the corrections that we've made note to Marty?
I move we accept.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, new business, home lighting trolley tours.
Okay, so I've explained this a little bit already. I received a call from Christina Zuniga at Peak Cinema. She proposed, an idea about, beginning the trolley tours at the parking lot at Peak Cinema. Her reasoning, obviously, is because the cinema is struggling financially, and they're trying to come up with creative ways to keep their doors open. So on that end, you know, that's why she proposed it. On our end, when I looked at it and discussed it with many people in the community already, Mike Valentine with the city clerks, Main Street board members, and you folks, the strong points were, one, that we would have extra parking. Two, we discovered some issues that are ongoing issues with using the Coal Miners Memorial Park with the trees and the cones and getting people out of the area, so we can put the cones up so the trolley can park, and then we have to put the cones back after the trolley leaves, and then somebody has to watch when the trolley comes back the second round, and then move the cones again so the trolley can park, and then put the cones back, and then move them again when he comes back to drop everybody off. So the volunteers that are at the tourism trailer serving the hot cocoa and apple cider are out there moving cones and putting them back, and moving cones and putting them back, and then having to wait initially for anybody that's parked there to move their vehicle so they can put the cones out. The other thing was there was no restrooms, so we had a lot of little kids and others going, you know, where do we use restroom, where, you know, how do you get the kids to use the restroom before you go? I know that's the ideal scenario, but you don't always have it, so you don't have restrooms. Then it's cold, so people are standing out there in the cold if they've parked a distance away and can't wait in their car, or they wait in their car. So we had a lot of reasons for thinking it might be a good idea to park the trailer at Peak Cinema and begin the tours from there. There's also two or three houses that signed up last year that are actually in that area that decorate their homes, so you could actually start there with those homes and move downtown. And the trolley tour itself would not change. There's no changes to it. It'll still go through downtown to look at the businesses, so you can vote on the business windows, and then the homes surrounding that.
It's really, I think it's really a tough decision, but I am the root of who I am, always markets downtown Trinidad, so if they're having issues, I'd really more than likely love them to help them with that, but with signage out at the hotel for myself personally, my opinion, and, I helped them by even mentioning on the trolley night that don't forget your local cinema's gonna have a lot of Christmas, theater movies coming out, and maybe even using a piece of marketing material on the Christmas movies that they believe that they're gonna be showing. But if there's a parking problem there, personally, I would just like to see use the city parking lot on Commercial and the nights of the trolley, see if the city would allow those bathrooms in the city parking lot on Commercial to be open. It's a feeling that you get by being downtown, where the Main Street group that I sit on too is doing all the contests for the windows and the downtown area. I know that we will not be in there. Or we could use the city parking lot here too. Or we could use by Chimino Park and pull up right there where people have lots of places to park around, including the bank parking lot later at night. And I'm just one person, but I have to always market downtown Trinidad, because that's just who I am.
I think this is an economic development issue that is percolated to tourism. If they're struggling and they're looking for assistance, let's just say, for instance, that the trolley does start out there and it runs for 2 weeks or whatever the time period, and people go in, buy coffee, use the bathroom, get hot chocolate, buy popcorn, then what? What happens in January? I understand her reaching out, but I agree with Cy that the trolley in the holidays is about downtown and downtown shopping. I think there are solutions for parking lots if the Main Street parking area is congested. There's also, Chimino Park, the banks, the
Welcome center.
commercial.
The
Yeah, the
welcome
welcome
center.
center,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
I
my
don't,
thing.
I don't
There's
agree,
not enough parking.
I don't agree that this should start at the theater.
Now, let me ask you, how many tour nights do we have?
I don't know.
5 nights a week.
5 nights a week.
You start
Wednesday, Thursday,
beginning
Friday.
December 6th to
So
the
what if
22nd.
you put a couple of tours from out there?
Why should, I don't agree.
I don't see
confusing.
where parking is an issue, except for Trinidad loves to be right there in that spotlight, looking at that front row of the parking.
Yeah.
There is parking galore
And
in the
there's-
back of it,
But
and
the-
I understand it's cold outside, but that comes with the territory.
Christmas shop?
This belongs downtown.
The bigger issue too, Mayor, is it tourism's job to help a struggling business, or is it economic development? And the issue, I think, about Peak Cinema is, it's not just Peak Cinema, it's every theater. Because so much is available on your television today through live streaming. A lot of people don't even have Dish or DirecTV anymore. They go to that thing that you guys use.
Netflix online,
Yeah.
Hulu.
You've got Netflix. So my question still goes back to, what do they do in January after the holidays? And it's confusing. This day it'll be downtown, this day it'll be at Peak Cinema.
Yeah, I do think I would be willing to help them in any way, but, again, I don't feel like I would be doing the job or be who I am if I voted on anything that wasn't outside the city limits. I'm trying to convince our downtown, our people that live in the city of Trinidad, not to drive to Pueblo
Right.
on their day off, to come downtown and experience downtown. So I have to market downtown as much as possible. I believe in
I
Trinidad.
would like to market downtown also though, but if you go downtown on the nights that the trolley's running, no one's
No
open,
one's
because
open.
I've worked at. Another thing too is across the street now, all of that parking is taken, so you can't park across the street, so all you have is a parking lot. And the biggest thing of the whole thing is, there is no restroom for little kids.
Well,
They're-
why
they're-
is
they
the
do.
restroom
That's a
at
good
Commercial
idea.
Street closed?
But there isn't, and as far as the Welcome Center, I think that's where it should be centrally located. But
Right.
as far as that, there is no parking at the Welcome Center unless you use McDonald's parking lot,
What
then
about
you're
the
gonna
parking behind the
have,
Welcome Center?
then you're gonna have
There's
these
really not that much.
pedestrians.
There's probably 6 spaces
Well,
behind it.
but-
Then you're gonna have these
There's probably a
pedestrians
total.
crossing the street with little kids,
Well, why
and that's not safe.
Why aren't the restrooms open? I've had people ask. We still have
It's-
tourists.
It's a,
They're locked.
Sure why.
Yeah, people ask about commercial street bathrooms all the time. So Mayor, even if they could do like 9 to 5, and if the city, if they don't wanna do that because of the homeless for some reason, if they could even do like 9 to 6 or something. But I want people to see all the beautiful windows and wanna come back down, even if they're on.
Well, the
Well, there
trolley, it's
will
not,
be.
it's
The
not
trolley's
like, it's
gonna
not
be
like the
driving
trolley
from
doesn't
downtown.
drive
We're
down.
only starting talking about the starting point.
Mhm.
And I do think the Commercial Street parking lot, with the restrooms is, you know.
Well, see, and that's my thing, is
Right.
you need to have access to restrooms for, what businesses opened up that you can access restrooms on Main Street. And then the trolley in and out, trying to get it to park. And to me, it just seems, somebody's reaching out for us to help them in a little way. We know we're not gonna save them,
No.
but it's just a little gesture of, can you help me, a little bit. It's not like we're writing a check to carry them on. I think it's a good idea. I don't, you come through Trinidad, you see all the stores, it's not like you're taking anything away from downtown Trinidad at all.
Last year, we ran the booth of the little trader at Central Park. I mean, Miners Memorial. And it was us that was doing hot chocolate. Prior years, I had school kids doing it. They decorated our trolley, they fundraised the money. It was not Gold Academy, it was Grace Christian Academy. I had them 3 years in a row come and do hot chocolate. I paid for the hot chocolate myself. I went down to Suarez and got a bag of hot chocolate, and those people ran it like a well-oiled machine. They
Well,
decorated the trailer, and they raised money for their little school.
Last year there were volunteers from the city and
Right,
Main Street Board
right.
and the Welcome Center.
And the years
we had
before
a lot of
that, we had a
volunteers.
lot of volunteers, I agree with you. I am not for moving it. I
Me
am
either.
sorry, there's a big parking lot in back of there. They leave their cars running. The biggest question is, they want that 10 spaces that are right up against that memorial, and they wanna sit in the cars and wait for their trolley to come, which is fine, they could sit there and wait in the back. But the Christmas spirit, the season is all about going out there, and if it's snowing, for sake, let's go. I've sat in my store and watched it. I've sat in my store and stayed open Friday and Saturday. Of course, they're not gonna come in shopping when they're carrying 3 or 4 or 5 kids with them. I understand that, but it's just the season, and I do believe it belongs downtown.
And if you were going to Pueblo, to a similar event, if you were going to Manitou Springs for a similar event, you'd have to find a place to park and walk to it
Right,
too. It's not
right.
like we're exclusive, it's
Right.
just what it is.
You know, I just thought of something that, you know, if there's a way that we can try to help cinema, there is a way possibly. And it's not moving the trade, starting down there, and this would be part of an economic development is people who ride the trolley here in town, if the cinema is going to have like specials,
Absolutely.
movies or whatever during that week, whoever rides the trolley, you can give them a ticket, maybe they get a discount.
One ticket, and maybe the next person
Well,
buys a
And
yeah,
then
second.
no,
they will go down and use it for,
There's
Yeah,
three
no,
other
you're
ways to
this
absolutely
way it
right.
incentivizes them to.
No, I think I said
That
that
would be one
before,
of the,
Mayor.
you guys could
That's
try.
exactly
I
right.
agree.
I think we're missing the point. I mean, really, when you're parked in front of the memorial, there's no shopping. There's nothing there. There's an eyesore across the street that's unfinished building in construction. There's fence across there. We're not getting nothing parking there. We're really not. When you ride the trolley, you're on the trolley riding and looking at lights.
So,
Like, I think it's a good point to if they can make a little money and there's more parking and they have heated bathrooms, I think it's a good idea. I don't think that it's not a bad idea. It's just like anything else, like, you're not gaining nothing parking at the memorial. There's
is there
no
another
business open
place-
right there.
Is there
I
another
am
place?
so,
Excuse
it
me?
is until six.
We're open.
I am open until 6:30 when that trolley goes by.
So is Brad
But are
Kirk.
they
And I'm
coming
going, and I
across the
see
way
those
there?
people standing outside, and I have had nonprofit little kids selling hot chocolates and things down there. And now you're asking, instead of doing the nonprofit little kids, which I'm all for calling them again and doing that, and going for a for-profit shop, if I did that and said, help me out, come into my beach store and buy my beach, or I'll sell you hot chocolate or candy out of my store, what is the difference here?
But
But we're
we're
not doing nonprofit.
we're still giving away hot cocoa and
Yeah, we're
cider.
not doing
Well,
We're just
nonprofit.
talking
We're
where
doing
the location
We're
The
doing the-
trailer, everything stays the same.
Yeah.
Every single
And what
thing.
makes them, if
The
we're
only
giving away
thing-
hot chocolate and candy for them to go into the show to buy
The-
food in there?
It's
Right.
more of a marketing thing than it is a sales
It's
thing.
not our
It's-
job.
But they're not asking us to save them. They're trying to, what the whole thing is enhancing an existing event
So,
by offering a warm place and restrooms and more parking.
Well,
So it's not,
if
so
those-
take cinema's struggles out of the equation and focus more on the trolley tour experience.
Well, their
What you're
business
doing by-
situation, Marty, though, is what brought this up.
Right, but
Okay.
what you would be doing would be enhancing the trolley tour experience by, 1, giving them a warm place to go into, 2, restrooms, 3, better parking. Those were the three things
Okay, so
that-
back up to 1, 2, 3. rather than getting hot chocolate for free downtown, now they have to buy it.
No,
Well, there's
They're
No.
going to give it away?
we always give away.
No, at
half
the
of-
cinema.
No, we
No,
have the
that's
tourism
not-
trailer
that's
parked
optional.
at the
We're still
cinema.
gonna have the
Okay,
trailer.
That doesn't change.
So guys, if
The
it has to
trailer
do
is
with,
still there.
if it has to do with restrooms and warmth, where are the places in downtown area that we can still give restrooms and warmth?
The welcome center's the only thing
The
that's.
welcome
There isn't any, but I do see,
Well,
as
there
far
is.
as parking, to move it down at Commercial Street.
Right,
That's
I
where,
agree.
that's where it goes. It
Yeah,
goes
Commercial
right
Street is
Commercial
great.
Street. There's
But
parking.
yeah, we could probably extend a hand to the Colorado Workforce Center with Sherry and them, see if they'll open the nights.
They're not, no one's gonna open their door Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for people to come and use their restroom.
They're not.
That's out of the question. People have to plan ahead of time. This is Trinidad. If you leave 10 minutes away and your kids all are sitting there, go to the bathroom, get in your car, get home, and get back right away. I'm sorry.
But there
that-
are restrooms on Commercial,
I agree with you.
and if we have to add a couple more outhouses,
I agree with
fine.
them.
But I am not in favor of moving everything to out of town.
So, where are the suggestions that we would,
Commercial.
Commercial, okay.
I think commercial, that you gotta check the bathrooms, I don't think they're heated in there.
Then you go find out.
Yeah, let's find out, yeah.
Well,
I
I'm
think that's
not-
why they're shut down.
Then you
Joey,
sit
I'm
with
gonna be very
your
honest,
hot chocolate
I'm not
waiting
worried about
for
the bathrooms, I'm sorry. You know, this is a trolley ride, be prepared, you are going for an hour trolley.
What's a trolley ride, how many people ride this, like? what-
32 is the
a night?
capacity.
I mean, what's our, have we tracked it to see actually how
Oh,
many people
yeah.
ride each night?
Oh, my God,
What are
There's
they?
been times, capacity.
Yeah.
At capacity, almost every night.
Yeah.
In fact, there's been nights when we do 3 tours.
Mhm.
So, what I suggested was doing a 6 to 7, and if there's more people, we can do an
Mhm.
8 o'clock. I talked to the trolley drivers, they're all on board with it. They said,
And-
that's fine.
And I
They'll do
like
3
to,
tours.
what time is the time, Joan?
6, 7,
And why
then
aren't we
8
doing
o'clock.
it like 5? Because it is dark at 5 o'clock already.
I was
and
just
move it
going with
instead of
what was
doing
done
the-
what
last
time?
year, I didn't
Is
change
that
it.
Well, maybe we need to change times like 5, 6, and 7 and do that, and 8 o'clock is too late anyway.
And,
I've
But,
6 to
but
7.
our trolleys are full, we turn around people.
Every night.
Turn away.
and Wally, while you're here before you leave,
Sorry, just
no, I'm just, it's that on these trolley rides, we have to use it as an economic development tool, and we can give them, or the driver can, as they're driving around, there's coupons at the front here for your local cinema and downtown businesses during the Christmas season. And can we get something together on coupons or things for the downtown area, so when people are getting on and off, not everybody's giving it, but if you want a package of coupons for these great businesses, give it to them?
But I think every business in town is struggling right now. I don't see not one business like thriving, just kicking butt in this next 3 months.
so you have the
So-
balance of downtown businesses versus one.
Just versus one, and
But
I'm
who
not
opens
opposed,
downtown?
but I'm not opposed
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, on that.
Retail.
But I tried to
Even
get
if
Tommy.
you're-
They're open on that night, so I never saw that.
Even if you're cold and you don't go out, what I really like to see is that it's an economic development tool, so they say, oh honey, to my little 8-year-old girl, it was so nice downtown, look at all these businesses, this was such a great thing, we'll take these coupons tomorrow, we'll come back and go to the stores.
I'm
That's
gonna
what I
be
would
very
like to
honest
see.
with you, people that come in, grandpa and grandma with 3 kids that are gonna go on the trolley ride, are not gonna go shopping downtown Trinidad.
Exactly.
It's not
No,
what
they're
there
not.
for.
I don't even think we need to put that into the equation, because they're not. I have tried
They will.
staying open late, I have tried doing everything, parents come in, I understand that. But I still does not justify moving our trolley down at Peak to get it away from the downtown area. We are always trying to promote the downtown area, and boom, now you wanna move it to Peak out there.
And I'm not suggesting, I'm just thinking more of, I think we need somewhere where they can gather and wait for the trolley. I don't think, if my daughter's sitting in the car, I don't wanna be sitting in the car with her waiting for a trolley if it's late, or, that's not
Well,
a
you're
very
gonna wait
comfortable
at Peak
spot.
Cinema
You're gonna
too.
wait Peak
But,
Cinema
but
inside a
you're
building.
inside, you can buy candy, you can buy stuff. If
You're
I'm
just
saying the
gonna-
welcome center would be a good idea too, cause it's a heated spot, we could do stuff inside and do photo things. I'm not against the memorial, I just don't think it's a good pickup, is what I'm saying.
You know, the other places, there's all that parking area underneath the viaduct there by
But that's very dark.
Yeah, that's dark.
It's where a lot of kids hang
Yeah,
out.
yeah, it's
I don't know.
By the way, just, I talked to Mike and the bathrooms are not heated. He does not, he's gonna check to see if they have been winterized yet or not.
If
They
what?
have what?
They're winterized.
Winterized.
Uh-huh.
I just make a motion that we move on.
Well, we have to make a decision.
Well, the decision's already made, three to one, 3 to 2.
Okay, so somebody needs to make a motion to keep, to work with where the,
And I would, go ahead.
work with where the, trolley's gonna take off from, if it's on commercial.
Well, it can't be commercial because the restrooms are not, there's no
They're-
sense going there.
They're not gonna be in use. They're, if
Well,
there's no
not
heat in there, they're gonna be
there's
winterized.
There's not in use on Main Street either, but, there is more places to
Tom, do you have
go.
a suggestion?
I just kind of occurred to me, it's like, I'd be more than willing to open up the funeral home. You know, we have a reception area, we've got bathroom, big staging area, just food for thought. I'm sorry, I'm listening to what's going on nationally, so I only caught pieces of this.
Yeah.
But it would be an option, there's a big staging area. I mean, it's at night, if you guys wanna use it, if it's an option, consider it.
Thank you.
So what would be the parking there, Tom? In
Well, we got
back?
the post office right there, right across the street. I mean, there's a lot of street parking. If it's at night,
There's more
the
street
post
parking
office
there
is
than there
closed.
is at,
I mean, we're gonna do the parade of lights there. We've been doing the parade of lights for, as long as it's been going on, and the other parade for Labor Day and everything. So, we could open up the seating area and it's nice and warm. Restroom, have coffee or whatever. Be happy to do it.
Well, thanks, Tom, I think a lot, I think right now though, because everybody's thinking really hard, thanks, Tom, that's great.
Okay, just
Yeah,
throwing
no,
it
it's
out
awesome,
there.
is that motion needs to be made that we have decided to continue to do it downtown Trinidad, place yet to be determined.
Correct.
Just so that we can notify peaks, but we'd like to help them with coupons or something that night.
when does this start?
December the 6th.
So next week.
Yeah, next
And
week.
so if we're not gonna offer, it's just my suggestion, if we're not gonna really offer any more amenities like restrooms or anything's changing, then I would suggest keeping it at the memorial, because that's been the area that
Uh-huh.
we've used historically and people are familiar with it.
Right.
So that would
Okay,
be my suggestion.
so we'll do that, but I mean, we'll work through that, but
Would the Miners Museum let us
I already asked.
rent?
She does not want to have to be committed to going down there 5 nights a week.
But we would take responsibility for having it open for those 3 hours.
But still, somebody would have to go down there, unlock it, and stay with the museum, and she doesn't wanna do that. I talked to Yolanda already. That was my first suggestion.
She would not trust,
how about,
She would want somebody to be there at the museum.
how about SCRT, would they be interested in, opening their doors, so if anybody wants to walk over there to use the
Right.
restroom or get warm?
We could ask.
Yeah.
That's a good thought.
They could market their building at the same time, and all the
Right.
things they do.
quite honestly, I would be more inclined to help SCRT. They're a downtown business, they've been in business a long time, they do have restrooms,
Well, they have youth programs too.
yes.
I mean, I think we're missing the point though. It's like, we're a tourism board, we're supporting all businesses. It's not downtown, it's in the city. They're in the city limits. The Peak Cinema's in the city, SCRT's in the city. Like, I don't think that we're promoting all of them.
I really wanna move away from, like, that we're helping or not helping. It's really what's just best for the Christmas contest, cause once we start getting into that, what if an electric company says, you haven't paid attention to me, we're struggling, we want you to meet us out on, this avenue or that avenue. Instead, we really just want economic development for all. SCRT just happens to be there. I know they have a lot of programs going on at Christmas, it's not a lot, but I saw Fridays and Saturdays and stuff. They got some volunteers, they might to help promote it, do that. I would like to see this be an economic development tool for all businesses, so I would like, Wally to help us in some sort of communication, and to see if there's anything that we can give for the theater on the trolley, or any other business that wants to, choose to, come in during
I
the
probably presented this wrong. I should have just created it as an enhancement to the home lighting tours.
Yeah.
And then it wouldn't have been an issue.
Yeah.
I apologize.
No, that's.
Well, there's no reason to apologize.
Yeah, there's not.
Well,
Because
I
the
really
man-
did think it would be a great enhancement to the tour, to make it a whole better tour.
Well, the gentleman, Mr. Beck, Robert Beck, who also owns a theater in Albuquerque, when they took this over, this was my thought when I read his Facebook post. You've been in this business for a long time. You bought this business out of foreclosure. You did your due diligence, you knew the history of Peak Cinema, which was not Peak Cinema then. But the fact that it's struggling is the business owner's responsibility or situation. Look, we're all self-employed in one way or the other. I understand, but if our business runs into problems, that's our business to fix. It's not saying that I don't think that there should be help, but his quote of wanting to become a 501c3 so he can receive grants don't help with operational costs. They don't. So he's off base. And then his second option is a fundraiser. Well, if the cinema is not gathering enough customers, I don't know what a fundraiser will do. There are other things he might want to think about for the use of his building, but as he says, it doesn't have a stage, so you can't have other acts, like comedy acts or something like that. He's in a situation that he doesn't know what to do, and I empathize with that.
But I don't
But
think
I don't believe we should change our Christmas routine or tradition to move out of town.
I don't think it would be, it's a bad idea to identify an existing event and try to do something better or extend it somehow. Any more than it would be, I mean, the Chamber of Commerce, in your case specifically, the Chamber of Commerce doesn't meet the candidates. But you said, you know what, let's get all these candidates, because you're creative and you're an intelligent woman, let's get these candidates and bring them into Moose's once a month or once a week or whatever. So you saw an opportunity and you said, let's do this. I think that's what they did, was they saw an opportunity and said, hey, here's an idea, let's bring the trolley tours out here. I don't think they thought it was gonna save themselves. I think they identified something that they thought they could be a part of and were a little creative.
And I understand that, and I completely wanna forget about helping them out financially. I just want that off the table. I just don't personally think that
Well,
the
I don't think we're
downtown
helping them
decoration.
out financially. I mean,
I know.
if they sell
Okay.
$25 in
Yeah.
candy bars
Right.
in a night.
Guys, I think we
And
can
the
talk.
downtown was
Sounds like
decorated
you
with
guys
the
are getting
lights
away
and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
trees
guys,
and
You're getting away from the
Stop.
premises
Yeah,
of the
right.
whole idea,
So,
and I think you need to
let's
narrow
just-
down, you decided, it sounds like to me like you decided to want to keep it downtown.
Right.
Let's keep it, let's just make a motion to keep it
I
downtown.
make a motion to keep it downtown.
Second,
Second,
all in favor?
well, I will add to that,
Uh-huh.
that the location to be determined.
Yes. Second, all in favor? No?
I have to have a location. I have to have this done. We have
It'll
to
be there.
get,
I say,
we have to get
Memorial.
advertising out.
Okay,
I
then
get
we're gonna
phone
keep it
calls.
Miners Memorial.
Keep it at Miners
Yep,
Memorial.
that's a
Okay.
motion, so we're gonna
Thank
restate
you.
that a motion?
But maybe you can contact, the
Yes,
theater and
security.
ask if they can open
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
The use of the bathrooms and
Can you
SCRT.
give us 24 hours to come up with the definitive? Okay.
It's just, I've got people knocking on the door saying, we
Okay.
gotta get this,
Yeah.
it's Main Street this
It's
is
Main
their
Street that wants
activity
their
and they
activities.
need to get advertising started.
Okay. So the motion is that the motion was to retain the Trinidad trolley, still doing the Christmas spirited things down by the Miners Memorial, to be, determined, if SCRT or any other businesses in that block would be open for bathroom use. Is that
Okay.
correct?
Yeah, or the Bell Block also.
The Bell Block, yep, the Bell Block's a good idea too. Do we have a second, Nancy?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Will I?
Okay. National Parks Trips Ed.
Deadline to reserve space for that is, November 15th in your packets. It's the last page in your packets. The cost, and I also sent you via email on Monday, all the, background information on that, what you've done in the past, the analytics and all the URLs, that link you to everything that was done for Trinidad. So there was copy that was attached, there's Facebook analytics, there's how many hits they got, all that kind of stuff.
And so we're looking to the total net cost to be, under $6,000.
No,
I thought the value was 19,000, but the total net
Total
cost was
value
only
was 19.
The net cost is $5,995.
Right under
Right.
6,000. So we need a motion to approve that, and I think with Fisher's Peak haunting right over us, ready to just burst at the seams and open, that we do have to do an ad in the national parks.
I make a motion to accept this.
Tom made a motion, second.
I'll second it.
Joey second. All in favor, Camilla?
Aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and Mike is here.
Can I ask a question
Oh,
here?
sure, absolutely.
Payment of our travel expenses, have we heard anything from her?
I talked to Brittany right after you
Right.
left the office, and she said it's all taken care of, it's all taken care of.
But we haven't
I
gotten
said,
our,
okay.
we haven't gotten our checks from Brittany. I don't know what the holdup is. I've been meaning to go down and talk to her because but I haven't done it. I will go down and talk to her. But being that you're here, Mike, she questioned Marty's approval, your approval, and I said, why not my approval?
Now, did she send you forms to sign or
She
anything?
did
like
not.
that?
But see, it's in here that.
We've already approved that money.
Before we go, it's submitted to the city manager. The city manager approves it, and basically, the way I see it is, what we need is the itinerary. So if you
I
give,
gave her all that.
if you,
She
so see,
has all that.
basically, that should have been given to us before we went. Because it's already all pretty much set up.
So it was what it was just everybody was supposed to get, their travel, mileage and per diem for the.
There is a travel expense,
Right.
Uh-huh.
that you guys can put in.
Right, and-
We have it in our
Budget.
budget.
Budget, well, actually, I signed off on quite a few, I think everybody who went, I signed off on those, I'll find out.
Okay.
We have it
If the
because,
checks-
because last time
she
we talked to
may
her,
have-
she didn't even know we were supposed to get travel, excuse me.
That's all right. She may have, put it on the run for city council approval to run through, so I will find out if those
Yeah.
checks
The thing
were
of it
cut
is,
with the
it
last
was-
run.
It happened September the 28th, is that right?
Oh,
And
Yeah.
we're in November.
But
And
why,
so-
if this is within our budget, why does council need approval?
Yeah.
Council approves all our
I'll,
invoicing.
They do
I'll
not.
get it, bills and payroll and everything. goes
But we
through
had already
council.
approved it in our budget, but every time, I have talked to her a couple times, and every time I'm getting a completely different story, what needs to be done.
Well, here's the story.
Form to
that-
sign, we've never signed forms before.
Okay,
You know.
let me
Yeah.
find
But
out.
I think the best thing to do is stay on track like what the rest of us have to do is whenever I go out of town, if I have something, I have a form that I fill out. And just keep it as simple as that.
We
see,
did sign the form.
And that's what I
then-
did. Here's what I did.
We did, and then.
I took them all down there to them, and she told me this is all wrong, and she threw them there on the thing and said, you tell Camille and Nancy to make an appointment with me to come and sign a piece of paper.
What? Yeah.
And, she told me mine was all wrong, and
Who is she?
Brittany is who I was sent to.
Yeah.
So that's what she told me, so I signed a blank sheet with all the stuff that I had put on it, so I don't know what happened to the sheet that I had.
And we were
But I
not
was
notified.
charged $168 on my credit card for parking. So I tried to clear that up with the motel, and they were on the fourth time, they refused to do it. I don't know why. So I dropped that charge on my credit card to Brittany
Okay,
2 weeks ago, so that's.
And then when I called Brittany for that appointment, she said, you don't need an appointment because everything's all wrong, I will call you. And I have never, I said to find another form, I said, I need an appointment to go sign the form. She said, no, these forms are all wrong, I'll get back with you, because I didn't know you were supposed to get
Did you get paid?
money, period, and I was,
Okay.
okay.
let me, let me find out
Yeah.
and get it cleared up, but going forward, let's make sure we fill those forms out
And we did.
be, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And,
Okay.
and last year, there was no form signed, that check was there to us before we even left town. So
Okay.
there you go,
Yeah,
yeah, okay, just to throw you that heads
I
up.
got one more.
Okay,
all right.
When we did the restaurant thing at the museum, we haven't been paid yet, so.
German, I think, getting away from your agenda.
When you did SoCo
Yeah.
Tourism?
Yeah. So if you could check that one.
I've checked twice already, and she said that the check had been mailed.
Okay, so do we need to
When we
reissue that?
leave, will you go downstairs with me?
Thanks, Mike, for coming.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks,
We
okay.
love
Yeah.
you, Mike.
We-
Thanks for being
we
here.
threw a curve on you just now, didn't
Yeah.
we? Sorry about that.
And I heard possibly, and I don't know if it's on your agenda, you wanted to talk about Christmas lights or something?
Yeah, so I'm gonna let Tom, cause he kinda is
Yeah, he's
the
doing it.
headliner of this.
Yeah, he's the head.
Well, one of the things I wanted to make sure is if we could put anything on those planters. Here's something that I made these if you wanna look at them.
So when you say we,
Tourism.
Tourism.
For a welcome
They're
greeting to
down on
come
the
shopping
bottom,
in the
so-
downtown
and
area.
so what we wanna do is last year, that whole area down there was black. I mean, there was nothing when you came into town.
So here's the area right here. This was last night.
That's what it looks like
So
when
the
you
two
get off.
planners were looking left and right.
That's what you look at when you get off of exit.
okay, so those planters,
Yeah.
all right.
Okay. So I
I need
made,
to check to make sure we have power there. These are lit, right?
well, they'll need spots.
Hmm.
Spotlights?
So I'll need, so either I buy spotlights that are solar generated, or you have power there.
I don't know.
But the thing of it is there has been in the past, there was lights there at one time. I can't remember how many years back, but they were lit. What we wanna do is kind of light up that area coming into our city and make it, welcoming. That's the thing that, what I would like to see, and I'm sure the rest of us would.
I know the Parks Department is in the process of putting out garland and making sure the lights on the trees are working.
When we'll buy the lights, we set $2,000 aside to buy the lights for those trees. I think there's 6
Cause last
lights.
year, there was no light put
There's-
on those trees.
There's,
No, it
Know
was.
if there's electric there.
Oh.
I think
Gotta
there is.
verify that it
You
hasn't
know,
been cut or something.
I was told a few years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, when we were helping with the flower project at that corner, that electricity had been installed, but it had been shut off for some reason. And I don't know if somebody cut a line, Mike, or something, but
Right.
it was initially
But maybe
installed.
we could get a solar light, but last year, those trees, there were no lights on those trees at all, no.
well, we just
that's our
like to-
biggest thing,
when
is
you
get
come
lights
into
on
the
the
city, it's,
People are gonna be coming in on Commercial Street to go take the lighting tour, and we want it to look pretty when they come in.
it's just more presentable when you come into the city, that there's something
Sure.
there instead of it dark.
And the poles that you were talking about?
Those are down the road. Those are for banners.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's, but I made 2 things. I was gonna have the colleagues do it, but I never got a response from them, so I just went ahead and did it myself. So,
And you made it.
make these things that I had made.
Those are made
So
up.
he's building these.
Oh,
Yeah.
His
okay.
own hard work for the city of Trinidad. Talk
So,
about
thank
community.
but it's just a matter when you get off that highway, that's,
We just wanna put some decorations in the plant
That
box.
this is the area that you come to shop, it makes you feel good, and that cares, we care because we put up our decorations right outside town.
Okay, I'll look into it.
Okay,
This is our
thanks, Mike.
You
decoration.
bet.
Thank you, okay.
Yep.
Alright.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yep, thank
The other
you.
thing is, I don't think we've sat and talked with Main Street. Marty, is there a time, I thought we were gonna have a time where we're gonna sit and talk with Main Street about, the Safeway building and starting to go down that project way. I did see Billy again, she said come and see, you and I would come see her any day except for Thursday, she tries to take Thursdays off, but besides that, she's usually there like 9 to 6.
There was a meeting with Main Street Board in that room right after one of our board meetings
Oh,
on the
that was the
Safeway.
only one that we had.
I
Just the one?
left it there because I didn't hear anything
Oh,
back
okay.
on anything.
Oh, okay, thanks, yeah. we
So I did complete the letter, I sent
Okay.
you the letter for
Yeah.
approval, I don't know where it is now, what's
Well-
the
well,
status?
So, I wanna move over a few things around, you did a great job in the letter, but there's just a few things like about I don't want it to be conditional on like a Safeway grant if we do it or not, I wanna kinda remove that and just verbally tell her that. But besides that, the letter's really great, she knows that, you and I just need to go see it, sit down and talk with her so that we have that confirmed up, but then we need Main Street draw in on this, so we can start doing some sort of, I don't know, contest, what are we gonna do for the back of Safeway? Yeah.
You wanted something in writing
Yeah,
to
right,
present to her so that you had something in writing.
right, so, and you did a great job in that letter, I was just.
So I just don't know where you are
Okay.
now, so you do want that letter, you're gonna hand deliver the letter,
Yeah.
you're gonna redo the letter?
Well, I wanna take out the conditions on that letter which talked about the Safeway program that does grants for the back of their building, because we got a yes out of her, so I want her to sign the yes, and then I wanna tell her, you know, there is some grants available, can we go down that part? But no matter if we get a grant from the Safeway Corporation or not, if we have a signed thing that we can do it, I wanna move forward to being able to decide what we're gonna do with the back of the wall.
Okay, so give me some direction, what
So
do you
did
want?
that letter that you did, it was a great letter, just, I think it's second or third
She wants to
paragraph.
edit it.
She
Yeah.
wants to edit it,
So
yeah.
why don't you mark it up for me, so I
Okay.
know exactly what you wanna
Okay.
say, then I'll finish it
Okay.
up, get it back to
Okay.
you. Do you wanna set a meeting with the Main Street Board?
Yes, I think we need to move on that, as we never know if she gets moved or something, we got a yes out of her, so.
So do you need a date to set with her before I set the Main Street Board meeting?
No, let's
or-
just do it, I'll make sure, let's
Okay.
just do it, let's just figure out when's a good time for Main Street.
No, what time for the lady at Safeway?
The manager.
Oh, the manager,
That's first.
And I wanna be honest with you people, you're getting way out of line with your agenda.
Yeah.
Some of these items that we're talking about, you shouldn't be talking about, they should be at the agenda items and put on your agenda.
Well, we were just talking-
Well, that's concerning to me because you could run afoul of
Right.
open meetings law.
Yeah,
You have to
the-
be very careful with that, so.
Yeah.
that's what I wanna
well,
do.
we're
And-
through with the
and-
whole meeting except for the board reports and staff report, and that's kind of why we're talking about Safeway again. Because we just
It
have
probably should fall under staff report.
Yeah, that's what it should be.
So that's where we're at right now.
No,
Well,
we're
we're
gonna
not,
do
we
your
can't then.
recap of council presentation.
Oh,
You're just a little bit ahead of yourself.
I'm just a little bit ahead, okay. Sorry about that, we'll continue that conversation in just a second, so then recap city council presentation. Does anybody have anything to say?
I do, I would just like it to be put in with all of our board meetings, just so that it's in there. Cause I don't think you were there that night when we presented it.
You want what put in here?
The accomplishments
Just
that we have.
just all the accomplishments,
Oh, okay.
that way they go with the calendar year of, as of each board minutes that we had. It
Okay.
kinda recaps each month.
Mhm.
So if anybody ever wanted to go back and look, they can actually go
Good
just
point,
off of
can you
this and
give
look
me a
on that.
copy of that? I
If
don't
you,
have it.
I'll give you that, and if you could, give it back to me, cause I saved it.
Okay, so
Okay.
I'll copy it and get it back to you.
Okay.
Or before we do it.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody have anything else? Okay, so back into the staff report.
I was gonna mention something real quick and just, you guys were talking about the travel expenses. And that would have been an item that should have been on the agenda. That way you guys could have invited, you know, whether it's whoever's in payroll or whoever's paying the bill on this to come before you, that we could have had someone
Okay.
here in front of you. Something like that, and pay attention to when she puts out a notice of anybody who has agenda items to let her know, that way if there is anybody that you may need to, she needs to contact to appear before you, they have ample notice and get you guys some of the answers that you guys want.
Right, good point.
I apologize for that. When I saw him,
Who is the person? Is it Brittany? Is that who we talked to, or who we said bring up here?
Well, Brittany, it sounded like Brittany was kind of controlling that, and I guess, you know, the main.
That's who I was sent to.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, no, that's a really great point, cause I have heard frustration on this board with that already, we should have probably had it on there and asked her to come, it might have allowed
Yeah.
things better for her. Yeah,
But when Marty puts out a notice for you guys, we can be ahead of time, for any additional items, and pay attention to that in case you think that there's something that.
You would-
And I just jumped on it because
it
last
would've
time I
never-
did
it
talk to
would've
her,
never
she said
been
she was
brought
gonna
up
go
if
talk to
Mike
Mike.
probably wouldn't have come in
I
yet.
don't know why. Okay,
okay.
alright, staff report.
Anybody else have anything on what we were,
Are we in staff reports?
yeah, we're in staff reports.
Okay. Go ahead.
Come on.
I just don't mean to interrupt, but I checked on the checks. They're on the run, council approval for Tuesday night, the, gosh, where are we at?
Next
27? 6?
The 19th,
19th.
and you can
Okay.
pick the checks up Wednesday or we'll mail them to you.
Okay.
Apologize for the
Thank you.
mix
It's
up.
okay, thanks Mike for checking
Okay.
in. Thanks everybody. Okay, anything else that we need to discuss on the staff reports?
Well, yeah. Marty, I have noticed, and I know Joey has too, and probably Camilla side, that visitor numbers seem to be off this year from what we've experienced in the past. I would like to see from you if you could give us visitor stats on a monthly report and then a year-to-date comparison.
I'll have that on the next agenda.
Okay, I think that would really help us to see where we're at, plus it may help the state's Department of Tourism. Thanks.
You're welcome. Anybody else have anything on staff reports? Next meeting is November 25th, which is the day before Thanksgiving at 9 AM here.
I will not be here, guys.
Everybody else? Somebody want a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second it.
All in favor? Thank you, and thank you, Mayor. And thank you, Marty.
Thank you.
Thank you.